What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen. If you are new, if you are returning, what's good? I'm not gonna give y'all no excuses. I'm not gonna give y'all no update. We're just gonna get right into it. I'm getting back. I'm back. So we're gonna do the Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 12, episode 1. Smoke mirrors and foggy diamonds. I'm trying to keep my head in the way of this ring light, but it's probably not gonna work, so just ignore it. But y'all know I got my notes on my phone, so here we go. So okay, so Teresa's catching up with her girls, eating by the pool, and Teresa's had her house on the market for 6 months, so she's trying to sell. And I think after she sells, she's gonna be moving into a home that her and Louie have already purchased. Let's see. I think he's got 2 sons. Only one of them lives with him. So Teresa's 4 girls are all gonna move in with Louie, his son. And the girls are just saying, like, we haven't lived with a guy in a long time, and just catching up, just girl talk, right? So, Teresa says that she thinks that she's taking her time with this relationship. And Gia's like, 1 year, they've been together for a year. And she's like, 1 year is not a lot of time. And I absolutely agree. She was like, you learn something new about somebody every day. You absolutely do. So, yes for you, Gia. Kudos to you, Gia. Because sometimes you got to put your mama up on game out here in these streets. No, it's especially when they've been married and they're new to the dating scene. It's just like, let me talk to you for a minute. So Teresa she goes on to say that she's having a summer kickoff party and that she's inviting her brother and Melissa. And the girls start saying how the last time they'd spoken with Joe, that they got into it. Joe was saying some stuff about their dad, but they said that they were all in a group text and there was no resolve. And Melania said that Joe was sarcastically saying that I'm a terrible person and a scumbag. Your father is the best. I agree. And then Gia said that they replied back and said that, like, we never said that. And Joe apologized, but then he went back on it. So it's also been 6 months since they've talked. So I think there's probably some ill feelings going on both sides. You know how Joe feels about his nieces. You also can't go and badmouth your niece's dad. Like, that will never work. So next, Dolores is pulling up to a house that's being renovated. She said that she started renovations 9 months ago and it's still not done. And she's frustrated that things aren't moving along. Honey, I would be too. I understand. I hear people all the time talk about how frustrating it is dealing with contractors and having renovations done to a house. Like, it is a bitch. So 9 months, I don't know what they said. I don't really know what time frame that she was supposed to be on. She just said that it's been 9 months and shit's not getting done. Frank is the one who's renovating the house. So, and he's got a new little thing, don't he? Yeah. Frank got himself a little young girl that he's fooling with now. So, she said that, let's see. She said that David offered y'all know her boyfriend, or I don't know if they're girl, I'm so confused about Dolores and this David, because I don't ever know what's going on with her and David. I don't get it. But she said that David offered her to stay with him, but she said that that's not an option because their relationship isn't really changing. So she got herself a townhome in the meantime, in between time. So that was pretty much it. She called Frank and was wondering, like, when are we gonna get the doorknobs on? Like, when is certain shit gonna get done? And he ended up saying that he'll have somebody come out and do it. So that's pretty much it there. Now apparently there's this video that's been going around of Louie and Margaret and Joe. So this next scene, Margaret and Joe are saying that Teresa is probably just going to excuse it away. she said, Margaret says that the video of Louis is on the beach with other men and everybody's naked. He looks like he's been drugged through the river and he's begging for forgiveness and the men are behind him cheering him on. Sounds fucking weird. That's what she said. I didn't see it. I don't know that anybody has seen it, you know, besides the people who saw it at the time. But I don't know what the fuck. Margaret says that that Louis apologized to some other woman that he was involved with. So he obviously did something wrong. And Jackie ends up coming over to her house. And they're catching up. And Jackie says that all her kids are about to go to camp. And how excited that she is to go to Teresa's party. But Jackie wonders if Teresa is going to say anything about the video. That's a no. Like, why would she bring that up? And why would she bring that up at a pool party? Like, that's probably a situation that she's going to be trying to avoid. Not bring light to. Y'all know how Teresa is. Margaret says that Louis been on an apology tour. And that she wasn't sure what he was apologizing for. But that there's been allegations thrown out that he's been accused of slashing tires and mistreating exes. But nobody's come forward to confirm anything. So, I mean, if ain't nobody came forward to confirm anything, shit is just rumors. I mean, I don't know what you're really going to do about that. Like, I don't know how you can really do anything other than just watch out for the motherfucker and make sure that he's not doing the same thing to your good Judy, you know? So, Jackie then brings up Jennifer and if they've spoken, and Margaret says no, and she goes into how Jennifer lied on her last season and called her the snake of the group, and how Jen called Joe and Melissa crooks. That was pretty much it. So next scene, Joe and Melissa go to dinner and they meet up with their friends. I think their names are Tracy and Tiki. I don't really care about them. It makes me feel like they're about to try to integrate her in here somehow. She's probably just friend of the show, but her name is Tracy. And Melissa is looking real Kim K-ish. And I don't like it. Like, middle part, long hair, waves, like it's waved out. She's definitely had some work done. I don't know if she's had a nose job or not, but there's something in this area up here that's going on. Can't figure it out. She definitely looks like she's had some work done, and she's looking Kim K-ish, and I can't fucking stand it. I don't like it. Melissa was one of the prettier housewives to me. Like, when she first came on the show, I was just like, oh my God, like, I love how she looks. Like, she's just a pretty Italian girl. And now she's very Americanized, if you know what I mean. Teresa invited Tracy to the party, and Tracy ends up asking if Louis is going to be there. So they start talking about that, and then they ask Joe, you know, like, well, how do you feel about him? And Joe says that, well, whenever I first met him, I loved him. But then shit started coming out the woodwork, and pretty much now he's side-eyeing the motherfucker. They bring up the video, and Joe and Melissa explain that he was at some type of retreat for men to redeem themselves from things that they're suffering from. And Joe says if he says anything about it, he's the bad guy. So Joe is just feeling very victimized. Like, he's like, if I talk about it, I'm fucked. Like, if I talk about it, I'm the bad guy. I would just rather not say anything about it. Like, just whatever. All right, cool. That's fair, I guess. Next housewife. So Jen is recovering from her nose and her chin job. And she said that she didn't go to Bill because he said that she was the worst patient I can imagine. I think that there's just something in me that feels like when your partner is doing work for you, it's 10 times worse. Like, it's not like, people always say don't mix business with pleasure. And when you mix business with pleasure, it's a mess. And I just feel like that's that situation. Like, Jen is probably even more overbearing when it comes to having work done from her husband. Just a feeling. But she talks about how her and her mom have been in a bad place for a year. and she went to Turkey to meet her nephew, because her brother just had his son, and her mom was there, and she said that she saw her and they just hugged, and it was over and done with. They made amends. It was over. So that was pretty much it. And then they kind of like cleaned up for dinner. So after dinner, her and Bill sit down and they talk about Teresa's party. And I think they kind of like I think Bill asked if, you know, like, how do you think you're going to be, you know, at this party? You hadn't seen anybody in a long time. And she was just like, I mean, I don't know. The last time we saw each other, I thought everything was all good. But then Melissa went on a social media rant, and she like excluded her from the post and stuff like that. And she said that Jackie and Margaret put their 2 cents in. So that's whenever she made her post. And she called Margaret a snake. And what else? She called the Gorgas crooks. So she said that she was just defending herself. Now, when Jen brings up the video, she said that video was done in private, and that was to an ex of Louis. Right? She said that? Yes, that was a private video, and it was sent to his girlfriend at the time. Now, I'm trying to figure out why Jen's story is always different than everybody else's. Anytime Jen comes through with the story, she's got different details. Now, Margaret and Melissa, granted, their details are a little different. Well, maybe not necessarily. Maybe Margaret just didn't know that this was like a retreat for men trying to redeem themselves. She was just explaining the video. But you got Melissa in one corner saying that he was at a retreat for men, and then Jen is saying that video was shot in private. Like that was a private thing that was between him and his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. Like, y'all know I don't know. Joe is talking to Teresa. Melissa comes out, and he's just like, you know, I don't want to talk about it. I'll talk to you later, whatever. So Teresa ends up telling Joe that Louis is upset about the comment that he made at that comedy show or whatever it was that him and Frank, they went and did. And the woman at I guess, I don't know if she was a host or whatever, but it was a woman who was at the show who asked Joe how he feels about this video surfacing of Louis. And he's like, God, I miss my brother-in-law. I can't tell you how much I miss my brother-in-law. Like, trying to make light of it and kind of trying to deflect. And he just feels like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I'm having issues with the girls, talking about the nieces. So he's just like, I just need to stay away. Like, I'm not going to the party. I don't want to go to the pool party. It's just best for me to stay back here. I don't blame him. I don't blame him there. Especially whenever you're feeling like you're backed in a corner and it's just like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I don't, then it's just like, I'm just gonna cut it all off. Okay, so pool party day. Everybody starts arriving and we see Melissa and Joe. So they end up, come to find out, Teresa called Joe and I guess apologized. I don't know obviously we don't know what that conversation was, but maybe she just apologized for what she felt she did wrong or whatever. She apologized. So Joe and Melissa ended up they just decided we just gonna go on. So they get there and Margaret brings up the video amongst the girls. So Teresa is in the house doing something and Margaret is outside just amongst some other women just talking. And she comes out, Teresa comes out, and Dolores asks, how do you feel about the show in Atlantic City? Because Joe had made that comment about the question that he got asked about Louis' video. And of course she downplays it. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I was happy he said that. And Dolores was like, no. But okay, so of course Teresa plays it off. But then in her confessional, she's like, I just don't think anybody should be in Louis' business. So Louis actually gets there and he's dapping all the men up, you know, going around speaking. And Joe was like, he comes and he speaks to me like everything's all good. I call bullshit. So Joe calls bullshit. It's crazy because everybody is in their own little groups talking about this video at this party where this man is that was involved in that very fucking video. Shit like that blows my mind. Like, oh, okay, so we're gonna talk about the shits while we're at this motherfucker's event. He might not be around, but we're gonna talk about it while we're here. Like, no. Margaret finally tells Teresa that she thinks that Louis should address the video, and Teresa says he doesn't owe anybody an explanation, which he doesn't. I mean, that's right, he doesn't. Margaret was like, I'm not saying that he owes anybody an explanation, but by addressing the video though, Margaret, that's what he would be doing, is giving an explanation. So, Teresa said, I just respect my home. I don't want to talk about it. Just let it go, girl. Just let it go. So they don't bring the video up anymore after that. So Dolores is wondering where Jen is and why she's late. And they start talking about their individual issues with Jen. So, now, and I was wondering too, I was just like, why is Jackie in this? What does Jackie have wrong with Jen? But then I remembered that Jen was telling everybody shit last season. On that reunion, if it was some shit that was going on, Jen said, well, this one said this, that one said that. She was telling everything. So now I remember. That jogged my memory for a minute. I was like, oh, okay. So Jackie's issue with Jen is that Jen tried to, she said that Jen tried to destroy Jackie's and Margaret's relationship, and then Margaret and Melissa's relationship. Margaret is with the shits. Jen walks in and Margaret said, look at her, she's unrecognizable. Jackie says, oh, the nose. I said, bitch, yeah, ooh. So Jen starts talking to Teresa and saying how she feels awkward, that everybody pretty much paid her dust. So Teresa gets Jackie and calls her over so Jen can say hello, but they brushed shoulders with each other and spoke to each other. So it obviously wasn't to say hello, but anyway. Jen doesn't know why Jackie is mad at her, so she asks her. And Jackie says that Margaret is one of her best friends and that she tried to concoct a story to try to drive a wedge between them. And Jen apologizes and pretty much says that it's 3 against 1. Jackie said, well, you did that to yourself. And then Jen ends up getting emotional. And Jackie's like, well, look, I don't want you to cry. Let's let bygones be bygones. I forgive you. Just, you be a friend to me the way I'm a friend to you, and we don't have no problems. So that was pretty much it. They resolved their issue, but she was like, I do think that you need to have a conversation with Margaret and Melissa. So here comes Margaret, honey. Margaret moseyed her way right the fuck on over to that table. So Margaret goes into her issue with Jen calling her a snake. And Jen says, oh, well, I call it how I see it. And Jackie excuses herself. She was like, I'm going to let y'all do this. So Jackie goes. And then Margaret says to Jen that I think you're unhappy. And Jen said that I get that you think that that's your truth. And Margaret says, no, I think that that's your truth. Let me tell you something. I love Margaret. She's quick. She's snap. Honey, she's a good read. Margaret is a good read. And then Jen starts saying how she's actually not unhappy because of her house, her husband, and the things that he's been able to afford her, and that she can do all of those things without a man nagging her about the bill, which I don't understand why. In that moment, I was just like, and then Margaret's literal next line was, this is not about money. Right. Why would you even bring that up as like a rebuttal? Like, I'm not unhappy. I got a house. I got a husband. I I love my house. I love my husband. I love all the things he's able to afford me with. But bitch, you can be unhappy somewhere in between all of that. You do know that, right? I don't understand why people with money, like, they talk about their money as a defense, like as a flex. Like, bitch, I could never be as unhappy as you are because I've got money and I've got a huge fucking house. Okay. Yeah, those things really keep you from having real life problems. All right. Margaret said, I think Bill is spending his life making up for mistakes that he's made in the past. And Jen said, you're just jealous. And Margaret says she's not being honest, because I think Teresa walked up and she's like, she's not being honest. And that Jen attacked her mother, attacked her husband, and that she makes it out like she's better than everybody else. Jen says, you can't take how honest I am. And Margaret said, Jen always says Bill is the best, but he had an affair. Everybody knows it. And that's why he left his old job. And then Margaret looked at Teresa and was like, her marriage is not what she's making it out to be. He had an affair for 2 years with the office manager. And Jen was like, she wasn't an office manager. She was a pharmaceutical rep, you fucking idiot, if you get your facts straight. I said, bitch, was that an admission? Like, okay, so that happened because you damn sure didn't deny it. You were going to correct the fact that she wasn't an office rep, that she was a pharmaceutical rep. Okay. And then we got the to be continued. So, bitch, this season looks like it's going down. So, I'm here for it. I'll be here for it. That's the end of episode 1. I don't think they did a teaser for episode 2. Anyways, I'm ready for it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one.